So, anyway, let's go back about 3 years ago. We both got divorced about 3 years ago, and
Mhm.
we're like, oh, we're doing this together.
Once again, living the same life at the same time.
Oh,
So here we were, want to share our ages. I'm 52. I'm 5.
45.
And
Uh,
here we were, going through divorces and talking about whether or not we want to hit the dating scene.
yeah, I think we're both just a little afraid. I was afraid. I was like, I've never dated in my life. I like to be with somebody in a very committed relationship where I like to do my own thing. I've never done the in between thing ever. I think you were more supportive of we can do this, we can put ourselves out there, and I'm like, I think
So we held each other's hands and we
yeah,
started online dating together.
yeah. I think about ten months after. Yeah, 10 months. We were about single for 10
Mhm.
months and we decided, okay, we're going to do this. Chrissy was visiting me for my birthday in Virginia and we both jumped on Bumble. Bumble. And remember the first day? We didn't know what we were doing. And I was on my phone and mind you, I have two boys who are now 20 and 22. And my youngest has not been okay with me being single ever at all for from the beginning. But do you remember the first day within hours? One of my oldest son's friends who'd been at my house
That's right.
for freshman homecoming dinner had super swiped me and I threw my phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, he knows. And then I had to tell my kids, I'm like, crap, their friends are seeing me and they're liking me, which is bizarre. So I had to come clean and tell my kids, like, hey, we're doing this online dating thing.
Her kids weren't very supportive. Mine
Yours are.
were supportive.
We're just
And
wait, I'm just gonna say one thing. Her kids are a lot nicer than mine. I love my boys, they're sweet, but her kids are great nicer.
we both have great kids.
We do. We do.
So we do the dating apps, all the good, bad, ugly that we shared in our previous channel, How to Talk Dating.
Mm.
And then we'd reached a point where we're done with this. We're sick of it. Too many negative experiences, and it was a lot of work.
It was exhausting, and we were both trying to
very
figure
exhausting.
out how to be the single parents again and do our own thing again, and we still had careers and we're busy. We're not the kind of ladies that don't have a life. We have a very busy, full lives, and that it was a lot of work. And I think I met a lot of great guys. I had a lot of first dates, but I also it was like you got to wash your hair and get ready and pick out an outfit. It's so exhausting to get there and meet someone you have zero connection, chemistry, interest with a lot of going nowhere fast situations. Not bad, but just not worth it.
And we didn't like to date just to date and go out to
No.
dinner and
Right.
have a meal.
Right. Yeah.
So we decided we were tired of it. We had started deleting the apps. I think I
Mhm.
had deleted most of them until one day in December, I see Chris pop up. I'm like, oh, this guy's cute.
She sends me the picture. We would be like, "Are these guys cute enough to match with?" Whatever. And she's like, "What do you think about this guy? He's from Tennessee too." And I was like, "Oh, he has really pretty eyes." Like, yeah. What, are you going to meet him? And
Well, not only was he from Tennessee too, but we were from the same hometown. We both grew
oh
up
yes,
in Knoxville. I'm like, oh, okay, I think I need to talk to this guy.
and you had the baseball
And
connection
and we
right
had
away.
well the baseball connection, but he also said in his profile that he loves Jesus, but he's not weird about it.
And we
Which
love
is great
that.
because
Yes, like,
I love Jesus and I'm not weird about it.
yeah.
She loves Jesus.
I'm
and
a
she's
little
not
weird. I'm a little weird about it. It's okay.
So those two things, along with how cute he was and how nice he seemed in his picture, that really got me. So,
Yeah.
and then I even asked my daughter. I'm like, all right, I was getting ready to get off all the apps, and she's like, Mom, you got to go out with this guy. So, reached out, and immediately I could tell there was a connection. Just even when we were texting back and forth, I could, you know, feel a sense of humor, and I could just tell he was a great guy. And so we couldn't get together at first. He had a friend in town, and we both had things going on. So then we made a date for December 16th, and we were both super excited about it. And then my dog got really sick, and I was my sweet, sweet dog, Riley. He got really sick, and we were gonna have to put him down, and it was gonna mean having to cancel the date. And my kids were saying, "Mom, no, you got to go out on this date." I'm like, "No, I can't because you're gonna call me and something's gonna have happened and all that." So I told Chris that I can't go out on the date because my dog's dying. And he's thinking, oh, great, I'm getting the dead dog excuse. But unfortunately, it was true. Yeah. So then it was time for the holidays. So it was going to be another 2 weeks before we could meet. Mm-hmm. And we continued to talk. You and I had gone to Colorado for a few days on Christmas and after Christmas.
I remember being in Colorado, and you got scared. You're like, this just feels too, like, I don't know. I'm nervous. What do I do? I feel like it was all of the marks were being checked. Like, he checked a lot of boxes, and we have both come from a place where we kind of settled, and we had ended up with people that didn't necessarily check all of our boxes, but they were good enough and great, and then it just ended up not great. And so I think we were both really afraid, like, there's no way someone's going to check our boxes. And I think Chris was exceeding the boxes. Like, he was checking boxes she didn't know she had, and I think it scared her, and she's like, I don't know. But I remember he was like FaceTiming her from Florida and like showing her where he is, and I'm like, this guy's either a lot or really perfect. I can't, like, I was like the friend that was like, I gotta watch out, make sure he's not too good to be true.
Yeah. And he wasn't.
And he wasn't.
He's not. Finally had our first date on New Year's Eve, which is risky. To have a first date on New Year's Eve.
A holiday.
But he and I were both willing to take that chance. It was an amazing first date. I remember getting out of the Uber, and he was waiting on me outside, and like, oh, this is going to be a good date.
And Christy used to, I got to tell, Christy would like go on a date, and she would text me like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. And like, I was always like, we knew where we were going, what we were doing when we were dating and stuff like that. And obviously some of our local friends for like safety reasons. And I remember getting the text when she was meeting Chris, and I got the OMG. I was like, oh, too good to be true. And I was like, I really like this guy. I'm like, yay! Like, isn't that a good one?
I did meet a good one. He was dressed so nice. Of course, he had on a sport coat with a pocket square. I'm like, he knows how to wear a pocket square.
These classy Southerners, I tell you.
I know. And but we did the safe thing. We met at another place first. We met at another bar to have a drink, and then that way there was an out if either one of us didn't want to continue on with dinner, but we did.
Yeah.
So we went to dinner, and it was just amazing. All the things that we have in common. Not only were we born in the same city, we were born in the same hospital. We went to the same pediatrician in Knoxville, Tennessee, and then we both met in Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. So it was wonderful and great and fantastic, and I realized I had met somebody that was the male version of me.
Yes.
All the things we have in common as far as our love of sports, especially baseball, our love for the University of Tennessee, go Vols.
Oh yeah, they're super fans.
How much we love to travel, music, concerts, like we're constantly on the go, and it's a lot of people don't like to go as much as we go and as hard as we go, but we both had that in common too.
There was a time where you said to me, I forgot how much I enjoyed like going to musicals and going to concerts because it's been a really long time since I've had someone that enjoyed doing these things with me. And I'm like, see, again, like he's like the male version of her and vice versa. It's really cool to watch your friends go through the whole like 360.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, and I finally felt like I got to be
yourself.
Yeah, myself
1,000% authentic,
and go back to the person that I was growing up and in college and in my early 20s when it was just me and I got to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And now there's somebody just like me wanting to do the same things.
Well, and not only do you get to be yourself, but he encourages you to be who you are, like 1,000%, like authentically, and then he supports her as well. So I think like if there's a message here, people, like don't settle, because it's like there is your absolute match like waiting for you. There's so many other things that like we would be here for like hours that like have just been like God signs that these two are like so good for each other. And here we are. We're not in our 20s or 30s, and she's meeting like the best partner for her ever, ever, ever. Like it just sometimes you have to go through a couple kiss some toads before you find your prince, or go through some
And at the
storms
same
before the
time,
rainbow.
like we've talked about it, if we had met 20 years ago, 30 years ago, would we be the same couple that we are now? And more than likely, we probably wouldn't have been. We were both in very different places.
Yeah.
And so, it was all in God's timing.
Yeah. It always is. See, we love God. We're just not worried about it.
So anyway,
don't settle.
Don't settle. Pay attention to the red flags, and that perfect match is out there for you.
Yes, because, and I know we're going to wrap up, but I do have to say, as the friend going alongside of her, alongside of each other, I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, there's a lot of different forms of love bombing, and I was like, is he love bombing her? And I would keep checking in. I'd be like, are there any red flags? And I was almost nervous because of what we just, we had just gotten out of other relationships, not just, like a year before that. And I know we both didn't want to be like rushing into something that we'd have to like pull back on because it like ended in like some tumultuous situation. But I was very nervous for a really long time. Like, is this guy going to be true? Like he was like, I don't know how to explain it. Like
he's the most genuine. That's the first word I used to describe him. He's the most genuine person I've ever met.
He's very giving.
The kindest. He is giving and generous to everyone he meets.
Yeah.
And if Chris is your friend, you're very lucky to have a friend like him.
Yeah.
Because he's not only is he kind, generous, loving to me, but to all of my friends, all of his friends, my family, his family, all of our kids. He's just the best person I know.
He is. He's like a cheerleader, and he and I have had phone calls where I feel like he's almost like counseling me or being like my therapist, even though I'm Christy's friend first. I do have a good friend in Chris, and that's, you make your list of what you want in a partner, and you never think, oh, I want them to be good to my friends. You just assume it's going to happen, but it doesn't. At this phase of life, it doesn't necessarily, like, it's not like we're living next door. It's not like we're raising kids together. It's a whole different dynamic being this age and meeting people and whatever. So for you to find someone that clicks with you, and then that also clicks with your friends and respects your friends and pulls them in like part of your family, it's just like another added bonus for sure.
Exactly. So, I'm very lucky. So that's been the best thing that's happened to me over the past 2 years, and I'm a very lucky girl.
She is. So be a Christy, hold out for your Chris, and don't be afraid to just not settle.
Don't settle.
So anyway, we'll see you soon.